namings. No.
But we had, we walked past her to go upstairs.
That guy's speaking in front of us.
Yes.
Yeah, this guy's using that. What the fuck?
Really?
Like alcohol, friends.
Someone thought I was just dropping like some kid's conversation last week Monday. We were waiting for my mom. He's like, I had a hole in my back pocket. And she called me for the radio this morning. I was like, yo! And then the teacher was like, hey, what are you holding there? Why are you holding your business? And he's like, Sir, I'm not holding your business. And he's like, open your hands. He puts the wrestler in the hole. And he goes, yeah, look, nothing.
That's actually smart.
Exactly, that's
like
smart.
That's a blazing kitchen.
Maybe. Okay, one, go carry this around. Oh, was it? Was it exactly? What time did you get here? There's actually a girl that's allergic to
Yes, I've heard, except like it happens to
like burning lava.
Oh, that's when you don't have hair.
No, she has long hair.
But while she's at it, she's having to walk around as a guy like Bigfoot. Harry is Bigfoot. Thank you for that hair. Ow, you guys like that's how magnified. Like, no, I think this is special for
That's what it's like. Skip shot. Yeah, I told you.
the SPP plus
1,000.
no plus me and above. Why are we here? Because why are we here? Let's just go wait. No, I don't want to walk near him.
I'm not walking. Why do you want to go on the field? I don't want to sit down.
You want to go sit there because he's sitting there. Okay, let's go.
Or go sit by yourself.
No,
Yeah, you can.
it's not a big deal.
You know.
What if you really said I was so bad? I don't want to say it around.
Don't do that.
Oh, Leila, she swears, you know.
I know. Don't.
I do swear sometimes.
Guys, you know, I can drop it.
I'm not feeling it. It's Geo.
I'm not feeling this whole week. Like this week must just go if
I'm
it's
just not feeling it down there.
That sounds anyway.
Today, let's go. No, but like, I'm being serious.
Yeah, I know. Honestly, so yeah.
He's being so extra when everyone is feeling so sick.
But he's also shooting, yeah.
Like, I care. If we could shoot and die, whoo, Pete, bruh, I would give him the best remembrance garden of his own, even. No offense. And then even I would go play music. Play music at his funeral. I will be dancing on his grave.
No! Ah!
Who's saying that too? Oh, yeah. His future wife is here. Yeah, no, that's never gonna happen.
No, that's never gonna. Thank you.
The way he's just even dating is never gonna happen. No.
Yeah, no, please, hell no, no.
I mean, you'd probably die the first day of it. It's like, hey, was my girlfriend? Yeah, sure. Wait, never mind. It's over.
Yeah. That I do still like him. I'm not gonna lie.
You did.
I still do.
You love him.
let's not go that far. Anyway, as I was saying, can we not talk about Friday? Can we not?
If we had a day where you can shoot anyone in the world you wanted to kill, just one person you want to kill. I'll bring that guy. I would not even shoot my brother. I would save it just for him.
I would shoot Teresa.
Teresa's not that bad. No. Not anymore. She's actually quite nice. What did she do to you, Layla?
She's just like everybody in the class is, and then she's other way. It's like, yeah, no. It's just, yeah.
You wouldn't believe what happened. In math.
She's ignoring us.
What happened in math?
What the hell? You guys all
And it was quiet for a while.
You guys don't get killed. You just don't get killed.
I'm dead.
Yeah, that's true. We ever are even in trouble.
Yeah, but we never get
No, laughing at the power.
I'm looking at it takes
Almost Marie. Sardinia. No. What is Sardinia? Your little baby nice corrected me.
Sardinia.
Man, you love to do it. Decide what you are.
You can't tell someone like me, he's not at school, he's not in grade 9 anymore, he's doing their degree, and I can't do this. I am a teacher, and you're the student. You should be listening to me.
And in what way? Whenever she always starts and she go, and then she reads 5 words and she go,
Who is Mel?
That's made all the way down.
I'm not feeling geography tomorrow. I feel like everyone else was able to bank it.
Yeah, if they were like, okay, there where we did Miles and Robin talk to bunk about getting the course. Well, we bunked the whole week, not just like one day. It's the whole bag.
Like, I think you played smart. You could bank and I played in school. You would need with school. You played smart.
Boy. Guys, we are clean up beauty.
I'll just go straight to my house. Go. Why is it such a great thing?
Well, because they're gonna look for you and call your parents.
In our moment.
What up?
Birdie poo. Probably just sitting there watching that. What you doing today? I'll be like, bitch, please. It's all time. They actually did. Probably like, bitch, please. I know I'm just like worried, but you're gonna pay. Fall down here with me. So she's gonna be like, oh, come. You know you're screaming like, oh. No, you're just like, you're literally, there's a roof, you know where the floor is, yeah? There's a roof in level with the floor.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah. Like, well, that was fun. Yo, the Layla one's going like, if you were paying to fall, you'd be like, money, money, money. I want my money. You call it work, I'd be like, that's my girl. No, honestly, now I was like, not actually, I'm like, I don't know. I do that to everyone this way. Like, I'm allowed to sway.
Yeah, next time you see how much you take. I don't know.
I think I already done that. So early.
Look at triangle.
I have lost the same race. I mean, house plays today. And I'm going to listen to you guys sing alone. Sing again. That child concert. No offense. And you, I don't know what I did. You were singing from your words, not from your home. Yeah, so you know.
And the phone's too.
No, that's annoying. your nose first.
No, next from me.
I'm honestly, I'm finished. You so dropped the keys and I was like, oh, so you dropped the keys. Stupidity. What?
Someone was chipping me. I just said it. Right, both these come inside, please. Looking to make certain lifestyle changes. Now, the whole purpose of what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to facilitate your progress into adulthood. You see, you are at a very difficult point in your life. I had an experience when I was 15 years old that helped shape me. When I was 15, there was a bus accident in Johannesburg. A bus full of school pupils drove in West Dean, and about 30 of those pupils died in the day. So they had it on national news and everything else. And then on the radio they were talking about these children who drowned. And then after a while they mentioned that the children were 15 years old. That's how old I was at that age, and that's how old you are. And I still vividly remember how offended I was because they're referring to a person of 15 as a child. I said, I'm not a child anymore. And I remember that because that is significant for a person of your age. You see, I don't think any of you still see yourself as a child. But you're not an adult either, are you? Okay. So you're something in between. You're in this grey area in between childhood and adulthood. So you are expected to behave like an adult, and yet you are treated like a child. Am I right? That is part of the problem. Why are we treated like children then? What's the thing? Because sometimes we don't behave like adults. So the whole conundrum here lies about maturity, about adulthood. You see, when we become adults, at what point in our life is there a line in the sand that if I cross that line, then suddenly I'm an adult? So is there a specific point? Is there a specific day in my life that I can say, if I hit that day, I'm an adult? You think so? Is there an age? I can tell you there's a lot of people over 18 who are not adults. And there are a lot of people under 18 who are. That I know of. Okay, it's not age related. So what is it? What is maturity? How do I define maturity? At what point are you mature enough that you qualify as an adult? Why are you thinking adult? Okay, for me, it's about your choices. So for me, I think an adult is a person that makes mature choices. Most of the time. Majority of the time. Okay. What is a mature choice? Yes. Thought of the consequences. You see, that is our biggest problem. When we are young, we first do, then we think. Right, like the matrix now. Like all this nonsense that it causes. That is a typical sign of immaturity. Of immature people doing what they do. They're not mature. Right, their mouths run. Because they are doing stuff without thinking that there might be a consequence to what they're doing. And that is what we've got to understand. A mature choice is when I'm thinking about my stuff. What's going to happen if I do this? Is there a consequence? What is the consequence going to be? What's the pros? What's the cons? Now I've considered all that, now I make a choice. That's a mature choice. Also got to understand, sometimes when I do that, I'm probably going to make the wrong choice as well. So I might consider all the pros and cons and then still make the wrong choice. However, I thought about it. That's still a mature choice. I will suffer the consequences of my decision, but I thought about this. For example, you will find that a lot of adults will willingly, knowingly, consciously decide to cheat on their spouses. And now there's going to be a consequence to this. They know it's going to be bad, my family's going to suffer. They all know this, and yet they still do it. Okay. In life it happens that we do make bad choices sometimes. You know? In my life, there are days where I make stupid choices. Okay. It happens. Now sometimes at night where I lie in my bed and I go, idiot! How can you do that? Are you stupid? Right, how can you treat a person like that or whatever? Right, however what I've found is, as I get older, those moments become less, for some reason, where I actually do make those stupid decisions. Whereas when I was younger, it happened a lot. Okay, and that is the process towards maturity. That's what I want you to understand. But what's important to know is that if I want to be treated like an adult, I must behave like an adult. Okay. That is the critical. Now when we look at lifestyle choices are the things that directly affect my life. And that's what we're going to look at. We're going to look at different types of things that we engage in our lives that form habits that can actually destroy our lives. Okay. And it's important for us to look at that. Now, on that, how many of you guys know people who are in their 30s but they look like 100? Right, they look terrible, they look old, and they're grumpy the whole time, they're moaning about everything. You know people like that. Okay, now how many of you know people or somebody who's like in their 80s, but they're still sharp and they're active and they do stuff. We know people like that as well. Now the difference, and I want you to understand that, is you choose which one of those two you are going to be. It's your choice. It's my choice. I choose what kind of old person I'm going to be. Okay. I would love to think that I will still be able to do the Drakensberg on grade 12 desert walk when I'm 90 years old. Okay. Do it with your grandkids one day. That'll be nice, won't it? Yeah, I'd love to think that. I'll be able to. However, I have to lose the book. But the reality is that, yes, the person I'm becoming is a result of the things I do today. So my choices today defines my future. I am what I repeatedly do. If I choose to study today, then I might become a doctor or an engineer in future. If I choose not to, then I won't. If I choose to train hard today, then I might be able to become a professional sportsman in the future. If I don't, I won't. And that's how life works. Everything I do today has an implication on my future. I choose a path in life. Okay. And I choose it today. The problem we sit with is where you are in your life at this point in time is you see yourself as an indestructible machine that's going to stay like this forever. Okay, I know, I was there. When I was your age, I will stand in front of the mirror, I'll look at this body and I'll think, yes, I'll take on the world. Okay, thinking that it's going to last, and it doesn't. Okay, unfortunately, your body eventually starts packing up. It doesn't stay in the perfect shape that you have it when you're at the peak of your life. You're not at the peak of your life yet. Okay, you still got another 10 years of growth left in you. Okay, your growth spurt is still going to last till 25. Okay, there's still a lot of change that you're going to experience. But where you are in 50 years from now is determined by your choices today. And we got to understand it. Okay. Right, so let's look at some of these different things that we allow in our lives. The first one we're going to speak about is smoking. Now, smoking was a very big problem for your parents' generation. Okay, these days, it seems like weed is more of a problem than normal cigarettes for your generation. But when your parents were young, you can go ask them, about 90% of the people smoked. Okay. So there's a very good chance that your parents used to smoke when they were young. Okay. And they might still be smoking. It's a very difficult habit to get rid of. Okay. But one of the reasons why is because back then, back in those days, smoking wasn't banned in public, it wasn't banned in restaurants, you could smoke anywhere. You could smoke on school premises if you wanted. Okay? It wasn't against the law. So the staff members used to smoke in class. Right. Also, the media portrayed smoking as being this amazing, beautiful, lovely habit. Okay. So I remember the adverts back when I was young. The best adverts on TV were the smoking adverts. These days it's alcohol. Am I right? The coolest adverts are the alcohol adverts. But back then it was smoking. So, for example, they had this one ad where they had this rugged man guy. He had this beard and he was driving this Land Rover. And he will drive through Africa, through the swamps. And it just looks like he's mad. And then he stops on top of this hill. And the African sun sets behind him. And he climbs on top of his Land Rover. And he sits on the roof of his Land Rover and takes out the cigarette. And then the caption goes, "Real men smoke scab." And then all the Bengal boys say there, "Yes, I want to be that guy." Okay. Instead of buying a cigarette, rather buy the Land Rover, then you can be that guy. Okay. Same with the girls. They would take these beautiful girls, these models, and they'll be on this yacht on the Mediterranean, and then they'll be in these gowns in this castle place, and then they'll stand outside and they'll smoke these Virginia Slim cigarettes. And that's how they portrayed it, and a lot of people fell for it. Okay, so the impression was created that smoking is cool. And that cool thing is called peer pressure. And that leads to a lot of problems when you are your age. Because our biggest fear in life is not spiders or dogs or snakes. It's not even public speaking. Our biggest fear in life is being the outsider. Is not being accepted. Is being the reject. Okay. Guys, focus please. Alright. So that is really where it comes from. The worst thing we want is we want to feel that I don't conform, I don't fit in. Okay. We have, unfortunately, as human beings growing up, we have got more of a sheep mentality than that of a lion mentality. A lion is not scared to walk alone, a sheep is. Okay. A sheep wants to be part of the crowd. And that is the whole concept of peer pressure. And for you to develop your character, it's important at some point in your life that you learn to stand up against peer pressure. You say, no, that's not what I am, that is not who I am. And the people who achieve success are normally those who achieve that, get that right earlier rather than later. But anyway, so when I was your age, I went on a Veld school, right? I was 15 in grade 10. And we went on this Veld school, all the boys went. And as I said to you, at that stage, about 90% of the people were smoking. So now, that night, that first night, they put us into tribes, and now that my tribe is sitting around their campfire. And they've put me in this tribe with the 13 biggest criminals in the school. If I can put it that way. I don't know how it ended up like that. But these guys were all smokers. And one of them managed to smuggle in a packet of cigarettes. Now they're all sitting there around the fire busy smoking. And now they're telling each other how everyone is now smoking. And then they look at me. And they say, tonight you're going to smoke. So one guy gets a cigarette out of his packet, he puts it in my hands and starts looking for matches to light it for me. And now I sit there with this choice. Number one, I'm allergic to smoke. When I smoke, my lungs close up and I become really jittery. I cannot stand it. Okay, since I was small. Number two, I was very serious about my sport. So I was really training hard. I really wanted to do well in rugby. So I knew that if I smoke, it's going to mess that up. Okay, it's a reality, and I'll explain now to you why, because it's scientifically proven fact that smoking stuns your brain. You cannot perform on a high level if you smoke. Okay? So now I'm sitting there with a cigarette and I'm thinking, okay, this is a problem, because I have to spend the next 5 days with these guys in this tribe doing everything. 5 days. If I don't smoke the cigarette, I'm going to be the outcast. They're going to be nasty to me the whole time. It's going to be a terrible experience. However, if I do, then I can just as well say goodbye to my rugby career. Okay. So eventually I crumpled up the cigarette and I gave it back to this guy, and he threw a tantrum because I cost him 30 cents or whatever. But I decided to. 2 years later, after that Veld school, I'm in matric. And I get selected for the first team. And 13 of the 15 guys in that first team are the same 13 that was in that tribe with me. Same 13 criminals. Now they're in my first team with me. Okay? And I sit there and I look at these guys and think, oh, hell, what a terrible year is this going to be. Right. Then they pick a captain and they choose me as the captain. And I said to them, are you stupid? You guys know I'm not like you. So when we were on that camp that I'm not. And then the one guy said to me, you know what, that night, when you said no to that cigarette, you won our respect. We want to follow you. Okay. And that taught me so much as a person. That was one of the defining moments in my life. Where I actually realized that quite often, the most difficult decisions we do in life are also the most rewarding. The fact that I was able to stand up for what I believed in is actually what swayed the scales in my favor later on in life. And that formed my character in a big sense. Okay, that made it so much easier for me later in life to say no to really difficult stuff. Okay. And I want to encourage you, you can say no to peer pressure. Okay. But anyway, when we are looking at cigarettes, there are two implications of cigarettes, right? Number one is a physical implication, and number two is an emotional, mental, psychological implication that I just want to share with you. When we look at the physical consequence, we all know that cigarettes are bad for us. Is there anyone here that doubts it? Okay, cigarettes are terrible for us. Okay, and I'm going to explain to you now why. Before I get to the actual showing you what it does to your body, I just want to explain to you how this body operates. Okay, this body runs on pure fuel called oxygen. Okay, so the most important thing that my body needs to grow and to perform is oxygen. That is why a lot of times when people have severe injuries, sportsmen, they take them and they put them in an oxygen tank where it's pure oxygen, and those guys recover at the rate 4 times faster than normal. Okay, you can actually let your bones in your arm heal if you broke a bone. That's what Andre Hubert did before the 95 World Cup. He broke his hand in the quarterfinal. And for a week, they put him in an oxygen tank here in Centurion every day for 6 hours. And after a week, his hand was healed. He was able to play the next day. Okay. So that's what oxygen does. It is fuel for your cells. Yes, that's in short. Okay. So when I smoke, I actually form a film over my lungs that prevent the consumption of oxygen. So I cannot get oxygen into my lungs. So the oxygen cannot go to the muscles, cannot go to the cells, so I hamper my growth. So if I am smoking in my growth phase, I will only grow up to 80% of my full potential, nothing more. Okay, number 2, you will never perform as an athlete if you smoke. Never. It's impossible. Okay, you might perform at a local level, but you'll never become good enough to compete on a bigger level. Okay, those are the realities. Okay, in addition to that, I get all kinds of diseases. That is what a smoker's lungs look like. Okay, that is tar. The same tar you find in the road, that is in cigarettes. So that is what you will find on smokers' lungs. It is pitch black. Okay, it is like that because of that layer of tar that forms on the lung. It cannot absorb oxygen. So therefore, you are going to develop diseases. These are cross-sections of lungs of a healthy person, a person with emphysema, and a person with lung cancer. Those are diseases that you get if you smoke. Furthermore, 80% of heart attacks are directly related to smoking. Why? Because your heart is not getting enough oxygen. The body is not getting enough oxygen. So the heart has to work harder to get oxygen to the body, and eventually it can't handle it anymore and you get a heart attack. Okay. Smoking kills, and not just cigarettes. Vape and hubbly bubbly, the same thing. In actual fact, vaping is e-cigarettes. Okay. They say there are some diseases that you get from e-cigarettes and from hubbly bubbly that you cannot even get with normal cigarettes. You can get STDs, sexually transmitted diseases, through hubbly bubbly. Why? Because there's one bubble in the middle and there's this one pipe that guys pass around and they give it to each other and I've got herpes, now you've got herpes, now you've got herpes. It's like an Oprah show. Okay, where we pass the herpes to everyone. Right? That's what happens. Okay. And that is just what I want you to understand. So engaging in these type of things is harmful for you. Number 2, there's a psychological component that I need to understand. It is an addiction that's extremely difficult to get rid of. And the biggest thing about smoking is it opens a door. It opens a door to more serious stuff. Okay. It opens the door. The next door behind smoking is marijuana, dagga, weed, bonkie, call it what you want. But that's the next step. That is a drug. Okay? And that kills you even faster than normal smoking. And it is even more addictive. And now, I'm used to that, so what's next? Now I go on to hard drugs. So it starts with the smoke. Okay, you will not find a druggie in this world who did not start with cigarettes. That's where it starts. Okay, it opens that door in your life, and that's what I want you to consider. So for the next 2 weeks, I want you to think, where do you stand in terms of smoking? Next week, we're going to write up our resolution. Where do we stand? You are welcome to this beautiful smoking picture as you walk up. Like if I go, choose your lung.
Cost unchanging. Go back. Cost unchanging. Go back. Go back.
Right, so let's say you are a smoker. You decide to quit. Can you recover? Okay, your lungs can recover about 75%. Oh, it's fine. We'll never go back to 100%. Okay. However, to recover up to about 75 takes about 3 to 5 years of no smoking whatsoever. Okay. Why do you cough when you smoke? Okay, that's exactly how. If you think, when you get a thorn in your finger, do anyone have ever had a thorn in your finger?
Yes.
So what happens is it forms like an infection around the thorn. Have you seen that? So it starts getting red and it becomes all goosey and stuff. And then why does it do that? Why does it develop all that water and liquid around it?
To get it out.
To get it out. So actually the body forms this liquid and it puts around this foreign object, and then when you squeeze it after a few weeks, it just pop out like a bubble. Okay. Now that popping out, that process of where it creates this liquid around this, is the same thing what it does. So when you have foreign objects in your lung, when you're smoking or whatever, then the body creates mucus and it seals off those foreign objects. And then the coughing is a method to try and get it out of the lungs. So that's why smokers cough so much and they produce so much phlegm. Okay? It's a natural phenomenon. However, if I just keep on smoking, eventually the overload is too much. And that is when it turns into emphysema, or it turns into cancer, it turns into all these kinds of things. Okay. That is the bottom line, that's how it works. So we have to understand that if I want to make this body the best it could be for the longest that it could be. It's important. Leave a weave alone, man. It's not yours. You paid a lot of money for it. You want a weave, get your own. It's important that I make the right choices. Okay. And that is what I want you to think about. And don't you think that is
break wasn't I heard break.
no, we just had break.
Yeah, but I heard break. I don't know.
So in conclusion, I want you guys to think carefully about who you are and about the person you want to be. And then start making your choices in life in accordance with that. Right, now we can stand again. Bye, ladies.
If you ever like try to experiment.
There was once a stompy in my dad.
Yeah, no, so honestly, but I've also tried. I'm not gonna lie. When you're little, and yeah, let's not go there. And the alcohol.
Hospitality, I don't mind. Your case then. There's one got shut off. Hold on, later, we'll try and get it back. Later, we're going to get a bit pissy around the injury.
Like that. You should have closed that day.
No, it's easy. I know. Your noise better.
We do that actually for every subject.
You know, we need to listen to
Line up. Except we don't have to. That's the one subject we never do. And other ones. Okay, we're doing other ones.
I'm joking, I don't know. I was just like,
I knew it, so that would have with hair. She would have with hair.
Can I
Oh, sad. Yeah. Good job. It's XAHS. Sad.
Remember we never played away, man. We only played one, and this is like
But tu kalaba pita ni.
concentrate because you just want to talk the whole time. Why is he running on the board? What's happening there?
It's a physics question.
Guys, can you
And
stop?
The administrative function.
The role of this function is to keep the administration of the business operations to run smoothly. This is important because without accurate record keeping and admin, it's difficult to keep track of all the business departments.
Organized administration and efficient and qualified administrative staff are critical for the business to achieve objectives.
The administrative function include employees such as secretaries, admin, and personal assistants, as well as administrators. The characteristics of this function are as follows: performing daily tasks like answering phone calls, emails,
In accounts,
handling reporting and filling info,
planning,
scheduling,
record keeping,
organizing,
paying attention to detail,
being good at setting up efficient systems,
able to work with people from all departments.
and as well as managing the admin budget.
Risk management. Businesses are at risk if their administrative functions don't work properly. If a business isn't administrated smoothly, business will suffer.
For example, if a hotel business has a disorganized booking system, guests who have booked rooms could arrive at the hotel and find that their bookings have not been made. This results in unhappy guests and a bad news for the business.
Thank you, take a seat.
And it was the wind. I'm ready to win a big disposals.
What is the drawing?
If you pay attention to the
The business has to run smoothly. Was it?
man when you get married. Because that was a good. Hey.
Okay, so what you are going to do for every function, you will write the beginning in color. Then we are going to write the role or definition, and then we are going to write characteristics for each. Okay, the role for the admin function is on page 166 at the bottom, where it says the role of this function is to keep the administration of the business operations running smoothly. This is an important function because without accurate record keeping, it is difficult to keep track of what is happening in all departments of the business. 166. So the role you will copy from the bottom of page 166, and then you will write 5 characteristics for me. Start. Am I speaking Greek? Some people are looking at me like I'm just talking nonsense. 166. I would say both sentences is important. Thank you. You have a beautiful voice, but not in my your brains in your head. Okay,
For each function, should there are 8, you are going to have a nice big heading, role, and characteristics. Excuse me? Ricardo, write anything that your heart desires.
I love you.
goods that a business needs to function. The characteristics are acquiring raw materials at the best possible price, making sure that production isn't held up, or that materials are already on time, making sure that purchases stay within the budget, keeping records of purchases, and making sure that there is an adequate amount of stock. If there is too much stock, the business will spend money unnecessarily, when the money could have been used elsewhere in the business.
Risk management. It's important for functioning to work properly. It is important for purchasing to work properly to management. Purchasing to work properly to manage the risk of business running out of input, out of the input it needs to do. If the production process is delayed due to the lack of raw materials, the business will risk losing money. Delays are expensive and give the business bad reputations. This function is important because without raw materials needed to produce goods, a business has no outputs to make money.
The purchasing function is also responsible for buying things.
What?
Also. The purchasing function is also responsible for buying things that the purchasing to operate not necessarily for producing, for example, purchasing materials within the case the role of the function is to keep supply of raw material and goods itself. This function is important because without the raw materials needed to produce goods and services, there's not output. There's no output, and there's no money.
Okay, your next heading, purchasing. The role of the purchasing function is on page 167, above the picture of the boxes. And then listen to me. The characteristics, I want you to shorten them in such a way that they make sense to you. It doesn't help writing things that are too long. If it does, like the last one is very long, on page 167, you can shorten it. Okay. So the role is above the picture and the characteristics are also on page 167.
characteristics. Are you done reviewing?
My pen is easy to spell things.
Michael Red?
The marketing function. The marketing function makes potential customers aware of businesses, the business's goods or services. It appeals to the need that potential customers have, and provides a way of meeting that need. So basically what that means is that once the business advertises the product, it just means that they want you guys to come see the product, so they can see the product. Characteristics, role, and importance. Many think that marketing is just about advertising. The marketing function actually has a much bigger job than just advertising. It is the marketing function's responsibility to
determine what goods and businesses should produce, determine how the business and its goods should be branded to have the biggest impact on potential customers, determine the best distribution channels for the business's goods, advertise and promote the goods, provide publicity for the business and its goods, determine the best pricing for the business's goods, find a target market for the goods, make decisions about how to standardize the production process, manage the marketing function.
The role of the marketing function is to make customers aware of the business and its goods and to develop strategies for getting goods to customers. This is an important function because if nobody knows about it or can
access the business goods, the business will not make any sales.
With each business comes a risk management. When businesses spend money to produce goods or offer services, they take a risk because they do not know if customers will buy their output. The marketing function can manage this risk by bringing customers and outputs together so that the business can meet customers' needs and get a return on the money they invested in production. This means that whenever a new company branches out and develops a new product, they need to ensure that they can get people to buy the product, and the marketing function ensures that it markets the business. So they go out and they tell people about the product that the company has.
As you can see, there's the definitions, branded and publicity. So, of the ruling characteristics, we right
What is branded? What is a brand?
It has a brand. Things on slate.
What is a brand?
It has a logo.
That's well known.
It's not.
The name of a company. Isn't it the thing
Yes.
that's a company name for?
Okay, if I ask you what is the brand for McDonald's?
The Golden Arches.
Yeah?
Golden Arches, man.
When you see
Arches that are golden.
when you see Nike, what do you see? KFC, what do you see?
The old Kentucky.
The old man, Colonel Saunders. Okay. So that is branding. You see the logo and you are already familiar with the brand. Thank you. You can write your role, characteristics, and the two definitions.
No, he used to.
I don't recall asking you to talk unless I have amnesia.
Good afternoon, Sutherland. Please pay attention to the end of day announcements. To the office, please, of Charmaine Miller in 11C. Also, Mr. Stebbett, you can come down to the office, sir. And then Matume Modiba in 10A down to the office. Squad players, if you could please meet the bus circle, 2:30. All learners involved in Liberty House play, or in the Liberty House play, if you could please meet B20 directly after school. Okay.
Make sure that you have everything in your office by tomorrow when you come to the house, including the key definitions, radius, and publicity.
Yes, boys.
Oh my god. There's nothing you can talk about. Let's not go there. Let's go. Yeah, I understand you. Don't worry, it's telling you not to lie. I think after one day I was like, okay, I'm done. Office night. Ready for airport.
Dude, what the fuck?
Yeah, guys. It's all cheers because you drank Red Bull and Super Rum at the same time. Still got remember, bro. Hey, guys, come on, look. Bye. Ass up. It is good. She said today and now it's not even here. No, we don't have time. See, when? Friday? Tomorrow. See.